Guys, should we talk about it? Should we talk about this, guys? Should we talk about this? You guys want to talk about it? I feel like we could probably talk about it. Should we talk about it? Classic era and hardcore. The guild's user interface has been updated to provide more ease of guild management. Alliance players now have access to the Might of Stormwind, to a version of the Warchief's Blessing World buff effect, and this new buff is gained for turning in new quests, the End of Dark Horde and Stormwind, and it's mutually exclusive with Warchief's Blessing. The Songflower Serenade and the Dire Maul tribute buffs can no longer be dispelled by enemy players, and Druids can now train and use polearms. I also believe there are some more changes that they didn't put in the blue notes. I always have trouble understanding that. Like there's some changes that aren't documented in the official patch notes. Maybe it's just a time constraint thing, like it's too annoying to write down like every line, so they just bullet point the big ones. But this is an update mega thread in the Reddit. Couple more things people have found since yesterday. One, logout skips no longer work. Now, if you're a speedrunner or power leveler or like classic enthusiast, that's a big deal. I mean, people like spend a lot of time working on logout skip speedrunning tactics. That's like, yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Changes a lot of stuff. Kata retail guild interface. Guild chat messages take 1 second to appear. API changes, and the API is now consistent with 10.2.7 War Within. Gear visuals completely broken. Fixed. Rain of Fire is now instant cast, but lost full duration. Milton Sheaf and Horde counterpart is now a vendor, briefly selling sod runes, and they were usable, but they can no longer be purchased. Alliance now have an equivalent of the Rend Head, the Warchief's Blessing World buff quest. If you chrono boon the Might of Stormwind, Alliance Rend, you can get another one outside of the boon. Thunder Fury model, slightly smaller. Some Warlock pet names were changed and spells unlearned, not confirmed. Frequent disconnects and server instability. Druids can now train polearms. SF and DMT no longer dispellable. Songflower and Dark Moon Fair buff. Cooldown on dropping Rend, Ani, and Nefarian Head world buff reduced from 6 hours to 1 minute. Or tribute. Yeah, DMT tribute. Seen multiple reports of disconnects on an elevator inside Noma, resulting in logging back into falling into the abyss, killing your character. Just compensation quest that rewards tier 0.5 belt gloves cannot be accepted anymore. The old guild tab still exists. It was just hidden. I need a weak aura to restore it. Oh, it just looks so much better like this. Like, it's just how WoW should be. It just looks so nice. Weak aura seems to work fine, but the game really wanted to auto-close the tab, so I had to do some tricks to keep it open. For those who prefer add-ons, I ported it to CurseForge. Classic guild frame. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Kuzu out of this today. Yeah. Jeez. So basically, a bunch of documented and undocumented changes to classic era and hardcore. Now, none of them are like that big of a deal. So what would be like a big deal? A big deal would be like class changes, right? Like warrior nerfs because they do so much damage, and that you nerf warriors in classic era. Like that would be like massive deal, right? That would be like fundamentally changing it. Now, all of these things are small things, but philosophically, it goes deeper than that. It's not about what's changed. It's about like the philosophy of having a bunch of things changed that the community didn't necessarily ask for or want. And some of them definitely didn't want that. And there was no communication. So, rightly so, I think a lot of people are pissed off. Yeah, rightly so, I think a lot of people are kind of pissed off. The biggest changes, I think, are this, the cooldown dropping on Rend. That's a big deal. The Alliance having an equivalent of Rend Head. That's like kind of a big deal. Is it a good thing? Maybe. Maybe that is a good thing. But it's still like a topic of conversation, not just we're doing this now. Everyone get on board, right? A lot of these other things are, you know, small. The guild interface, like if you're playing classic, I think one of the things you're playing classic for is to relive those same classic memories, and to start changing interface options is not a good idea for that. So yeah, I can't really get behind any of these things. I could get behind them a bit more if there was like really great communication from the devs, and they pulled it to the community, and the community was like, we want these things. Yes, it's a little different, but it's going to make the game a little better. And then the community voted like OSRS. Everyone, or the large majority, was in favor. And then they put in some stuff like this. But if you did a vote to the classic community, do you want logout skips to be fixed? No one would actually say yes. If you put it to a vote, should we do Kata guild interface in classic? Nobody would say yes. If you did a vote to change the cooldown of world buffs from 6 hours to 1 minute, yeah, it might be pretty close. If you did a vote to do an alliance equivalent of Rend, that might be pretty close as well. So it's like, are some of these things good? Are some of them bad? It's like, well, yeah, maybe, but it's definitely a point of conversation. And doing them all knee-jerk without any communication is a problem. Philosophically, an issue. That's not cool, right? Not cool. Yeah, I think if you're in Blizzard's shoes, I think reverting all of these, saying we're sorry, and then from there making it open to the community to be like, what do you guys actually want, would probably be the right move forward. Isn't that what SOD is all about, though? This is not SOD. This is not SOD. This is classic era and hardcore and SOD. Just to be very clear. No shot of that, though. Yeah. Dang. Smaller Thunder Fury? Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, none of these changes are like that big of a deal. None of these changes would have me like quitting the game. None of these would have me like super pissed. But also, I think it's just about the changes happening without any type of communication, except, hey guys, all of this is happening now. And it's just like, wait, what? You know? I think classic visuals are important in classic WoW. Yeah. I'm gonna try this weak aura. Copy import string. I'm on SOD right now, but it should work the same, I think. New aura. No, import aura. Import classic guild frame import. Am I bad? Yeah, removing logout skips is probably like just really bad. Press O and then go to guild. But if I press my keybind, it opens this. Is there a way to redo that? J works too. J doesn't work for me. I don't know. I do think it's important to maintain some level of like integrity with it. And I think being wishy-washy and just doing stuff like that. Like to be honest, I felt the same way when they moved it to the new options panel. Like I played Dragonflight for like a year, and then I've been playing with this new options panel for like another year. I still can't get used to it. It's like the old one was perfect. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't. Yeah, I prefer just classic WoW as it was, right? Yeah, it's not that bad. The one thing I do like about the new options menu, which I have to give it credit for, is the search bar. So like just adding a search bar to the old one would have been fine, I think, but like the search bar actually is kind of nice because you could type something, you know, to look for something, but like the layout of it just messes with my brain. And Ty's tweet, classic purist launch change.org petition. In light of the recent changes to classic era servers, which saw a guild UI update, new ally world buff, and druids being able to use polearms, a section of the classic community have launched a petition on change.org in an attempt to have it reverted. This is not just a game to us, it's the game of our generation. We like playing on servers with an authentic vanilla meta with no changes. And when Activision Blizzard launched Classic Era, it was promised to serve as a time capsule to help us preserve the game as it was. Dang. 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 You guys are calling them losers, but at the same time, I think for certain people, it's a big deal. The people that have been playing Era for the whole time, there are some sizable changes. I actually don't think these guys are complete losers. Would I go out of my way to make a change.org? Probably not. But I think there's reason to be upset here. I think there's reason to be upset here. For sure. Wow, 1,000 signatures already. Yeah, it's clearly like people care, man. People care. People care about it. Yo, Kiltor, thanks for the sub, man. Goron, thanks for the prime. 25 signatures, people care. No, it's at over 1,000 in less than a day. The petition's been up for less than a day. Jeez. Well, there's that, man. There's that. I think to take Era to the heights it could be, you just follow the OSRS model. You delete SOD. Once it's over, you delete it. Okay, gone. Okay, now we take Era and we make it the OSRS model. You make a voting poll. The voting poll would have things like, do you guys want Alliance World buffs? Yes or no? The voting poll would say, do you guys want us to make a new dungeon or a new raid? Yes or no? Okay, if it's voted yes, what kind of experience do you want to have in this raid, right? Like you start collecting community feedback and you make the game the community wants to play at this point. And if people, you know, 70% or more, like kind of how OSRS does it, want to play that specific type of game, then Blizzard makes it. And then if you make a mistake, then you unvote it and you vote it back out. And that's it. And that's Classic Plus. And from there, you take it to wherever you want to take it. You go in any direction you want to take it from there, right? Should Rep Palace be slightly buffed? Yes or no? Community vote. Boom. Right? And that, yeah, and that's that. Done. That sounds like it'll work. Yeah, hopefully. Classic Era with retail classes. I mean, kind of Saudi. Current Era community and things like GDKP and RMT have changed the game more than anything Blizzard's done. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. The devs didn't communicate because they did not intend to get the changes in the classic era. They just didn't find a technical solution to decouple the changes from era. Bro, there's literally a blue post of the changes onto era.